But now to the astonishing situation that's unfolding along the VNI West route. This is the massive transmission line between Victoria and New South Wales to connect all of these potential renewable energy projects. Legislation was pushed through the state parliament just recently, and it's granted power companies, these are private companies, the right to enter a farmer's land without consent as part of the planning for this interconnector. Last Friday, landholders in the area rushed to the aid of a fellow farmer after a Vic Grid officer forcibly entered his land. And again today, similar scenes as power company representatives were confronted by local farmers refusing entry at Greens Creek and Bungalook. Glendamere farmer, sheep producer Ben Duxson was part of today's protest, and he joins me now. Ben, thank you for your time. I tell you, my viewers are absolutely white hot about what's happening in Western Victoria in particular, and the way that all of your private land rights appear to be just disregarded, legally disregarded. Give me a sense of what's happened over the last couple of days.
Yeah, pretty similar out here as well, Peter. So obviously, as you said, VNI West, we've been in this fight for 3 years. They're trying to bulldoze their way through our farms out here. The locals are fed up with it. We've always pushed back on it, and we're continually to push back. We'll stand with fellow farmers, with the community, with every energy consumer in Australia, every taxpayer in Australia. We're denying access to the Victorian government. We're denying access to multi-billionaires, to former politicians, to Iberdrola, the Spanish company that's been granted the licence to build this massive VNI West. None of this is good for Australia. The truth's starting to come out. We're playing our role out here. We'll deny access, and we certainly won't let them into our farms.
And of course, the Parliament in Victoria, remind people, passed legislation with some pretty hefty fines every time you lock the gate.
Yeah, fines from $12,000 for individuals, $48,000 for companies, and they can come on with reasonable force as well. So, yeah, we know what we've got to do. We'll stand at the gate with fellow farmers. We'll build this as it gets bigger. If they try and get more and more power, we'll certainly push back with more and more people. And as you said, it's a pretty white-hot issue out here, and we're certainly just not putting up with this. This is a sham of a policy. It's no good for any taxpayer. It's taking us down an economic slippery slope, and we're just here to play our role, and we'll certainly push back as hard as we can. We've unfortunately got 4 weeks of it in one of our busiest times of the year, leading up to harvest at the moment. So they pick their times, but pretty resilient group out here. We'll keep fighting.
And just remind people of the scale of this rollout and what it does in terms of you being then able to access and farm your land, and particularly up your way, the inability of, say, aerial firefighting as we head into summer. I just spoke to the CFA on the show last week saying this could be in Victoria back to sort of Black Saturday sort of conditions, given the load, the fire load on the ground already and the predicted dry temperatures. Again, remind people of what's at stake in that respect.
It's massive for communities out here. We're out in the open out here. Any fire gets going, it gets a massive run on, and you know, you got this great big transmission line that splits Victoria in half. You can't go underneath it. The safety concerns out there are real, and as we've seen with pushback from CFA community, definitely don't want any of this. And we can see from California just recently of power lines starting fires out here. So it has a huge toll on actually fighting it, but it has a huge toll of people worrying as well into the future.
You must have been heartened by that announcement last week from the Liberals about opposing net zero, and the National Party too, at a federal level, with one really clear position in relation to this renewables rollout. They're not anti-renewables, but they're saying we can only take it, and this includes transmission, where communities give us a social licence to operate. That's a game changer.
It's a bit of common sense, Peter. We don't see that often in Australian politics at the moment. So we're happy for that. We will certainly play our role in this and make sure that projects like this just don't get ahead. We can't afford it. Let's just stop and let's get a power project grid that's going to last us 100, 200 years into the future. This is no way to treat farmers. It's no way to actually treat your food producers, your fibre producers, your producers of agricultural products. We're just out here, intergenerational farmers, love farming, and they've certainly come up with some pretty mighty resistance out here. They think they can buy us out with money. That's not an interest to anyone out here. We just want to farm our land and be protected in doing that, getting on with the job of farming for Australia and the rest of the world.
Good on you, Ben. Keep up the fight. You've got a lot of people behind you, whether they're farmers or not, whether they're in the bush or not. They contact me, so I know you've got a lot of support.